Hey guys, what's up? So, I figured in this video I would show some of the newcomers to the hobby how to do water slide decals properly. Now, water slide decals, of course, are a much easier option than something like stickers or some of your dry transfers. They're a lot easier to work with, and they're also, one more thing too, they're generally pretty foolproof. You know, it's not going to take you much to really do water slides. All you need is a little bit of water, usually room temperature. You can do warm, but you don't really need to. You'll need a pair of tweezers. I like to use these little micro brushes, as they're called. I'll show you the package. I like to use these. These do come in handy for this type of work. And of course, Q-tips. Now, of course, where you put your decals is of course important. Here we have the YF21 from Macross Plus. This is the Hasegawa scale kit, and this thing's nice. This thing is a wonderful model. I've loved everything about the build process of it. It's been such a good time. Now, here we've got our decal sheet. Usually what you're going to want to do with your decals is you're going to want to figure out what you want on which. Most of your model kit instructions will have a guide. This does have a guide, I just don't have it on the page right now because I have it beside me after I photocopied it and printed it out. So, what I want to do is right back here on these thrusters, what we are going to do is this FF2450B. So, we're going to get out our decal shears. You can use, again, whatever you have. You could also use a hobby knife. Hobby knife's fine too. And hobby knife is designed for this same type of work. So hold your decal where it's not going to get damaged, and take your decal shears, and then just, since we want both of them, we're just going to trim them both out, and we're going to just stay as close to the paper as you can, but make sure you don't damage the clear backing paper, because what you can tell is there's a little bit of a sheen difference there. What you want to do is leave most of that backing paper intact, because that's what the decal's attached to. So if you damage that, you damage the decal. Now, we got it mostly cut out. What we're going to do is just make sure we don't damage the letters. There we go. Set our decals off to the side. You can wear gloves if you want to. It doesn't really... We're going to drop our tweezers on the floor first. You can wear gloves if you want to, but you don't really have to. Now, take this, grab it, and we got this little pot of water right over here. So we're going to just take our decal, dip it in there, and we're going to let it set. Generally, you let it sit for a couple of minutes. I'm going to give it a few minutes myself. Now, the magic of doing this, especially with water slide decals, is the two-part system of microset and microsol. Before I apply any water slide decals, I like to use microset first. What you're going to do is you're going to take this, we're going to, right where the area we're going to apply our decal. We're going to take this, we're going to take our brush, make sure you're using a pretty soft synthetic brush. Make sure you're using a soft synthetic brush. I'm using just a little tester's brush here. It doesn't need anything fancy. And focus right in this little area where we're going to be applying it. About right here where the curve starts. We're going to just do it about right here. Again, you can be pretty heavy-handed with this, and that's not an issue. The heavier handed you are, probably the better it's going to work. Let it set. Give your decals a bit of time to get off the backing paper. I know my desk is a mess. It's because I've been doing this project for so long. Okay. Now with how our decals look, we're going to just take ourselves a little brush, dip it in the water, get it moist. Slide this off the backing paper, like so. Be careful, be gentle. And generally what you can do is come on, focus. There we go. So you can slide them around a little bit and you can just do that. And that went on pretty decently okay. Most of the time it's not even that smooth of a process. What you want to do is just make sure this gets where it's got to be, like so. Take yourself a Q-tip, get the excess water out from under the decal. So it won't really adhere properly. You don't have to do this step, but this step does help. Take a little bit of Macross and rub it on the surface of the decal. It might move a little bit, but that's fine. Just touch a little bit on there. You won't need much. It's gonna look shiny, but that's fine. What it's gonna do is it's gonna break down that backing paper and help the letters actually just adhere to the decal. Now, when you do aircraft models like this, it's very simple to follow where you gotta go. So look at it from the top, go, okay, the decal has to go right here. So what you're gonna do is, same process as before, but now that you've got both of them in the water and they're ready to go, you just apply your decal setting solution like this. I know Humboldt makes one too, and so does Testors. Testors decal setting solution isn't a two-part system, it is a one-part system. And it works decently enough. I've got a bottle or two of it, it's not bad. It's okay. I don't use it that often because I prefer Macross and Macross, but that's just me though, just personal preference. I usually just keep my little papers off to the side. Now we're gonna make sure they line up well enough. See, they don't line up great. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just nudge this over a little bit. Adjust the angle. Make sure it's perfectly straight. There you go. And there you go. They're perfectly straight. And again, I'm going to get all the excess water off of this. I'm just going to put a little bit of Macross over the top. Then when it's done, you'll put Macross over it. You'll know when it's done because it'll, of course, have the crackliness look gone. Crackly look gone. All right, and now another thing we'll want to do is, now that we've done that, I'm going to set this off to the side, let those decals set and do their thing. I'm going to put the Macross markings on the wings. So I am just trimming the decal off of the sheet behind the camera because it's a little hard to trim intricate little detail lines leaning over a camera with a pair of scissors. Okay, there's the Macross marking we need. And we'll just put it in the water. That's it. Now, where these are located at is in the center of the wing, close towards the bottom part. So about right here. So what we're going to do is same process as before. We're going to take and we're going to just put a little bit of Macross right here. Since it's a round decal, it's going to work a little better. It looks like a face. Hello. All right. All goofiness aside, we will go ahead and get the rest of this ready to go. It's probably been long enough. And we're going to just gently hold the decal, and we're going to angle this where we can. Normally I would be leaned over this a bit more, but again, I'm trying to show you guys on camera what we're doing. And then we're going to just slide this off like so. Set the paper off to the side. I know some people use distilled water, some people don't. I use tap water. Tap water's good enough. Tap water works. Okay. And then we're gonna let that sit, and we're gonna do the same thing as we did last time. We're gonna just take a little bit of Macross. We're gonna just rub it onto the surface, especially around the edges. Let it set. And usually what you'll wind up happening is it'll get this crackled appearance on the decal. Don't be afraid of that. That is not a bad thing. It just means that the Macross's working. What it's doing is it's breaking down the backing paper. And then once that's done, you'll apply a single coat of Macross. You'll let the Macross soak into the decal. Again, it might look a little crackly, and then what you do is, once it's dry, you'll have that type of appearance where it's broken down the backing paper enough to where it fits the texture of the model, but also to where now once you varnish over your model with a gloss coat or a dull coat, it'll completely hide the backing paper on the decal. That's really what setting solution is for, because a lot of the times when we modelers would varnish our model kits, what would usually happen would be we would just make sure everything lines up. Would be that usually what would have happen is you would do something like this. You would then varnish the model, and the model wouldn't look good because you would have this little flashing of everything behind the decal. So it would look weird. You have like this little white halo effect around things, or it would just look odd because the sheens would be different. This alleviates that. Now you could do it with white vinegar or rubbing alcohol, but again, that may leave unwanted residue. This is the easiest and simplest method, really. Doing decal work is not necessarily that difficult, it's just time consuming, because in order to do it right, most decal projects need to be done continually. You need to do them as you progress, and as you're building the model, you'll apply your decals as you build steps. Like I did on this wing, I'm going to do it on the other wing. Or how I did the cockpit, I did the entire cockpit in one go. Like these were done together. Most decals are paired is why. But you don't always have to do it that way. If you're strapped on time, you can do them as you need. Aside from that, it's super easy work. As long as you remember you have a little bit of leeway with them, make sure they look good, apply them evenly, smoothly, be careful, be patient, adjust them until they look good. Once they look good, get the water out from behind them, apply your setting solutions, and you'll be golden. Hopefully, this was informative enough and you guys learned a little bit about doing decal work. Let me know in the comments below if this was helpful. I do plan on eventually showing you guys how to varnish your models with spray cans and with airbrushes. That'll be the follow-up to this. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.